Okay, so I just started.
Yep.
So just a few seconds will be live. Okay. Okay, very good evening, good day to everybody. Thank you very much for joining this month, April Alumni Talk. And my name is Dr. Jane Puranan, and I'm from a faculty member from GlobalNxt University. I'm the MBA ODL program head and also the moderator for this alumni talk session. So it's a very wonderful time, and thank you for everyone who's joining this session. It's a pleasure to welcome you back to this alumni talk. So, for those who have been following our global journey, we have traveled from January, we have traveled from New Zealand to Mauritius and then to Hyderabad. So, tonight we stay in the vibrant Silicon Valley of India, specifically Bengaluru, and to meet the man that I previously described as a titan of leadership. So, with that, right, you can see that tonight's topic is all about how our minds can mislead us. So, let's start with some clarity. So, please tune in and let us welcome Dr. Ivy Sarma. So, with that, I would like to just share a little bit about our leader here. And I can see Dr. Vijay has joined. Thank you for joining, Dr. Vijay. So, I'd like to share that it's a very great and distinct honor to introduce Dr. Ivy Sarma, whose career is a masterclass in both technical and human excellence. Dr. Ivy Sarma is a veteran of the Indian corporate landscape. He has served as the highest echelons of industry, including roles as director at Bharat Electronics and Midani, as well as leadership positions across various private corporates. But what sets Dr. Sarma apart is his deep mastery of the human element of business. As an expert in the Dale Carnegie philosophy, he has spent years sharpening the leadership and communication edge of thousands of professionals. Tonight, he bridges his vast industry experience with academic rigor. I also want to share that Dr. Ivy Sarma was our Dean's List Award recipient. So with that, he will be here to challenge the way we think with his presentation, which is as stated on the screen over here, when the mind misleads, the impact of cognitive biases in research. Please join me in a very warm GlobalNxt University welcome for a true legend of leadership, Dr. Ivy Sarma. Over to you, Doctor. All the best.
Dr. Jane, thank you very much for a generous introduction. Good evening, good day to all those who have joined and who may be joining later through YouTube. Today's topic is when the mind misleads, impact of cognitive biases in research. Uh, I hope everybody is able to hear properly. Fine.
Yes, Dr. Sarma, go ahead.
Okay. And the slides are okay? Are visible?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
it is.
I'll go ahead. Thank you. Right.
Thank you.
I'll start with a small story. I hope all of you like this visual. This is monkeys investing in stock market. Monkeys in a forest came to know that people make a lot of money by investing in stock market. So they start trying at it, and they think that they can make a lot of money and start trading on the stock market. Now let us assume that there are 1 million monkeys. Now, monkeys, they don't have any data, they cannot study properly, and so they randomly, crazily invest whatever comes to their mind, in whatever company comes to their mind, they start investing. Now, what happens? After 1 week, out of the 1 million, 500,000 monkeys will make money, and 500,000 monkeys will lose money. Now, next week, let us leave the monkeys who have lost money and see what happens with the monkeys who have started making money in the first week. They again do the investing in a random fashion. At the end of the week, half of them will make money and half of them lose money. As it keeps continuing, 250,000, 125,000, like that will be filtered out every week who have lost money, and at the end of 20th week or 20 or 21st week, one monkey will be left. This is the monkey which made money every week in the stock market consistently, week after week. Now what happens? All journalists, all business magazines, all newspapers, everybody starts writing about this monkey, and then success of this monkey, the formula the monkey has followed, and how the monkey has become very successful. So many articles will keep coming. Journalists will come and start interviewing the monkey, and all stories will keep getting published in the business magazines and business channels, business newspapers, and all that. And in fact, the story goes that one journalist becomes much more interested and start studying the habits of the monkey, and comes to the conclusion that this monkey sleeps on a particular tree only, and eats only bananas, and swings in a particular fashion every day, and all those things. So the stories goes on like that. Now we will come back to the story. This is the success super investor of the monkey land, and journalists name it as Warren Buffett of monkey land. We'll come back to the story in the presentation in the subsequent slides. Now look at these two companies, Dell and Cisco. In 2005, Dell was ranked among number one among the among the world's most admired company by Fortune magazine. It's ranked as number one among the best companies. Great CEO. Everybody writes articles, interviews. Great CEO, great leadership, strategy, customer focus, manufacturing excellence. All traits, best of the things come into surface in articles. Just after 2 years or 1.5 years later, the CEO of the Dell was removed by the board because of poor performance. All reviews in the business magazines talk about complacency, poor customer focus, reluctance to change, incompetent leaders, and all that. It is the same leader, same strategy, same company. But in just matter of 1.5 years, a best company has become a bad company. Exactly same thing happened with Cisco. Cisco was presented as the greatest company in the year 2000 with strategic excellence. Just after 1 year, it was named as a company with poor strategy and very poor management. In fact, in this, even this CEO was not changed. Products are same policies, same strategies, and same CEO. But in a matter of 1 year, same company is labeled as the best company, and the same company is labeled as poor strategy and with poor strategy and poor management. I'll take the examples of two research works, very popular books, many of you must have read. And this first book, 1982, it came. I read in those days, in the 80s only, early 80s, mid 80s, I read this book. In Search of Excellence, written by Thomas Peters and Robert Waterman. This was a research done to find out the attributes of excellent companies. They identified 8 attributes of various things. We will not talk about all those attributes and describe those things, but the point here is that after they have done this research, they have published this book. Book has become very popular. Within a matter of 5 years, out of the 43 companies identified with these 8 attributes, only 5 are on track, and remaining have either stagnated or lowered their performance. Their performance has become poorer than the previous years. Now, again, a book is written. Again, a lot of research was done by Jim Collins and Jerry Porras. And this book was published in 1994. This is again a research case. I'm taking these two because we are talking about the issues in research. In this book, again, after research, this book was published as Success Habits of Visionary Companies. 18 companies were identified, and after 5 years, 11 companies declined in performance, one became stagnant, and 5 only improved marginal performance. Some have done, 2, 3 of them have done better. These are 2 research cases. I'll again come back to these research cases in the subsequent slides. Now we'll come to the definition of the cognitive bias. It is a systematic unconscious error in thinking that distorts objective perception, influencing judgments and decisions based on subjective beliefs rather than facts. It's based on subjective thinking, subjective beliefs, decisions are taken, and this is a systematic and unconscious error which happens in and distorts the objective perception. It doesn't arise because of lack of intelligence, but they arise because of how our attention and memory and mind works. What we notice becomes what we believe, and what we believe determines what we notice next. This cycle keeps on happening, and because of that, we get biased. A lot of work has been done on these cognitive biases by uh, eminent researchers like Daniel Kahneman, Amos Tversky. I do not know exactly it is pronounced. I think it is Tversky. Herbert Simon, Richard Thaler, and Ray Ross. This Amos and Kahneman, they have worked together in most of their experiments. And Amos is sort of, for quite some time, a colleague, initially assistant, and a student of Kahneman. And they wrote a book, Thinking Fast and Slow. This book is very popular. It deals in detail about the experiments they have done on cognitive biases. Similarly, another book by Philip Rosen. This Philip Rosen wrote a book, Halo Effect. This also I will talk in the subsequent slides. Now, this Kahneman and Amos, during their research, came out with the theory that our mind works with 2 systems. One system which thinks very fast, intuitive, automatic, and emotional. Another system is slow, deliberate, analytical, and effortful. The system 1 doesn't require a lot of effort to come to any conclusion, whereas system 2 it is slow and takes time to come to conclusions. Most cognitive biases arise when system 1 quietly overrides system 2. So because of these cognitive biases, the lot of decision making gets affected, and whether it is in personal decisions, organizational decisions, or in the research decisions, what we are talking about, all get affected by the cognitive biases. In the literature, there are more than 100 types of cognitive biases are discussed. Some affect more, some affect less. There are variety of them, and in the book Thinking Fast and Thinking Slow itself, more than 40-50 biases have been discussed in detail with various experiments they have done, which resulted in the conclusions they have presented in the book. Some of the, I've just listed here, some of the biases like availability bias, confirmation bias, halo effect, anchoring bias, outcome bias, etc. I will discuss some of them which are more important in the context of the research work. See, cognitive biases, we said that it is emotions overriding the facts. So people may think that it affects only qualitative research and quantitative research being based on numbers, it may not get affected. But it's not so. These biases affect both qualitative and quantitative research. They affect at various stages uh, of the research, at literature review, at research design, data collection, analysis, and conclusions. Now, we'll take some of the biases we'll see little bit in detail. Availability bias. This is a bias where people estimate likelihood based on the ease of recall, not the actual probability. Something which happens, which they see more in TV, or which is more more talked about, they get affected by that, and if they are able to recall that, they take their decisions based on their conclusions based on that uh, ease of recall rather than the base rate or probability of that happening. For example, if a air crash is there, and it is shown a lot in the TVs, and a lot of discussion happens in the newspapers and news channels, people get biased and get worried that air travel is not safe. There's a picture which shows that this lady is worried, she making the plan for travel, but because there is an incident just on the same day of an accident, an air crash, she gets worried and starts changing the plans and exploring the possibility of traveling by other means. So this is how the information available readily, information which people can recall, that affects the mind, and people take decisions based on that, and people get biased based on the available information. So now coming to the research, how this affects in research. Just 1 minute, I will block this one. Yeah. In research, research problems are chosen based on the recent events, trends, or striking cases rather than a systematic importance. That means, let us take the example of a recent case. In TCS, there is a harassment case of the employees. Now, it may be a one-off case, but because it is talked a lot, it is discussed in various media, that these incident influences the some of the researchers who try to, at the same time they try to take a topic for research. They may take a topic of harassment in the companies, or a harassment in the companies of a particular group of companies, or a particular segment, or a particular city, or whatever it is. They try to relate that and take a research problem based on the recent events, instead of looking at the uh, percent or base rate, or uh, the probability of that happening, or what is the percentage of such cases happening. Without going into details, sometimes the problem is selected and then they go into the various other data collection and all that, which gets affected further by other types of biases. So uh, the availability bias can affect the selection of a problem itself, because if something is talked a lot in the media, discussed a lot, or that is so much in the media, so that type of topics can be maybe taken. Researchers relying on accessible or memorable studies, then hypothesis reflects salient examples rather than the base rates. Design choices are Design choices emphasize observable or memorable aspects of a phenomena, leadership linking to speaker events and charisma rather than the actual traits required for the leadership. Samples are drawn from accessible or recently encountered populations, loud complaints on social media about a product or service. All these things affect the research work. Survey participants, then when it comes to the survey participants, their responses are influenced by what they see on that particular day or what they have read on that particular day, can influence the survey participants' responses, affecting the research outcomes. Interview participants recent recall dramatic or emotional in qualitative study. Suppose you do the interview, even if it is a deeper interview, it is quite often possible that they are influenced by recent experiences and highly blown up cases or accidents, etc. That reflects in their interview answers, and internet affects research outcomes get affected. So there are different areas where whether it is a problem selection, samples, the way samples are drawn, or uh, the survey responses or the interview responses, all these things have uh, get distorted by the uh, this type of bias. Research shows that dramatic examples cloud the statistical reality. Here I will give an example. This is also an experiment mentioned in the book Thinking Fast and Thinking Slow. The this is a this is a teacher asks a question to the students. It is like this: he has written a rule of a series of numbers are there. He has written a rule what this series or this sequence of numbers follow. He has written that rule on a paper and kept it on the table, and then asked students, these are the first three numbers of the sequence. Now what students have to do is identify the rule which this the what is the rule he has written on the paper. What students can check is that they can ask the next number, they can suggest the next number and ask this teacher whether the next number fits the rule or not. Teacher will say yes or no. So they can ask any number of times, any number of whatever number, any number of times they can ask they can suggest the subsequent numbers, and teacher will keep on telling yes or no. Based on that, they have to identify what is the rule this sequence is following, and what is the rule he has written on the piece of paper which he kept on the table. Now, then he starts saying that the first three numbers are 2, 4, and 6. The teacher, so one student asks, is the next number 8? Teacher says, yes, it fits the rule. Another student asks, is the subsequent number 10? Teacher says, yes, it fits the rule. So it goes on like that. After checking or testing few numbers, all students jointly come to this conclusion that the rule is that all the next number is derived by adding 2 to the previous number. So 6 becomes 8, 8 becomes 10, and all that. Now, they ask, is the rule correct? The teacher says that is not the rule. So this is the problem. They have tested certain numbers to verify to validate the rule. Even after that, they could not find what is the rule the teacher has written on the piece of paper. This is a very very good example of confirmation bias, which I'll be talking in the next slide. Here, what happened here is that people have, by looking at the numbers 2, 4, and 6, all students have come to the conclusion that the rule is very simple, adding 2 to 2 or even numbers. And they only tested the numbers which fits into the rule which they thought is the right rule. So they tested 8, they tested 10, everything is fitting the rule, but that is not the rule. What teacher has written on the piece of paper is that next number is higher than the previous number. So 7 also is right, 8 also is right, 9 also is right. But none of the students have tried to anything else other than the suggesting the even numbers. Why this happens? That happens because if you believe something, you will try to test only that information which fits into that belief. This is called the confirmation bias. The system one seeks coherence, not accuracy. Once it forms a story, it resists disconfirming evidence. If these are the beliefs, the prior beliefs is this red circle. The data is the blue circle. But whatever is happening, the evidence what people believe is what is there, which is common to their beliefs, and ignore most of the evidence which is outside their beliefs. This quite often happens very regularly, and in fact, this keeps on happening in the day-to-day life also. And journalists keep on writing stories, just taking one particular um, uh, quality of a company or a issue of a related with a incident, and then keep on writing only confirmatory stories. This is one of the reasons why uh, uh, people believing in one political party, they only see the negative things of the other party and the vice versa. All this keeps happening, and we start like the people, when we start liking a person, we see all the good points, and we start disliking the person, we start seeing all the negative points. All these things happen because of this confirmation bias. In the research, in the research, what happens is researchers unconsciously favor the data that fits their prior beliefs or theoretical narrative. Look, this is the teacher's problem, what we talked. Selective search and use of literature. In the literature also, uh, quite often it happens is that whatever they initially thought is a solution or the problem or the hypothesis, they keep selecting the uh, literature, only confirming to those initial beliefs. Even in the literature, even in a particular article, there are two arguments, one in favor, one in against that. They try to select only the one which is confirming to their hypothesis. Constructing hypothesis aligning with expectations, choosing methods likely to produce supportive results, selecting participants who are more likely to confirm expectations. Hypothesis predicts leadership, training improves productivity, so they collect only data which supports that hypothesis. Leading questions, selective probing in interviews, selecting data in coding to fit emerging themes. Kahneman says that this is what you see is all there is. YCRT, he says. Researchers treat available confirming data as the full reality. Anchoring bias. So I'm at, I think we are, okay. I'm just looking at the time, maybe another 10-15 minutes. I have many slides, but I will go quickly. The anchoring bias is judgments are heavily influenced by arbitrary starting points, even when they are irrelevant. There is a very excellent experiment conducted by Kahneman on this, but I will not go through that because it will take 5-10 minutes. We'll go in that describing. But research shows that even experts are not immune to anchoring. Here, this picture shows that uh, if an item costs $159 is sold at $99, then customers get excited. 159 becomes the anchor. Whether it may be the relevant thing, it may be the right thing or not, that becomes the anchor. And they compare with that and then take the decisions. So in research, what happens is prior studies, benchmarks, pilot results, they influence expectations. They become the anchor. Themes around early interview response, initial responses, then themes solidify around that. Then survey participants anchoring around the first number they see. Pilot studies research gets anchored to the pilot study, which may not be a complete one. It may not necessarily be the comprehensive one. Well, coding, this happens very often. Then the large amount of data is there in the qualitative study, and you start coding it. The early codes solidify quickly, and more codes, more and more data to confirming those codes are added to those set of codes, and other themes which uh, are not that prominent when coming to the initial coding set. They are labeled as outliers and ignored also, that quite often they may have the valuable data. So researcher uses last year's productivity score as baseline and then anchors everything around that. Even in analysis, interpretation anchoring to prestigious studies is very common. This is one, there is a very interesting story. I'll just try to tell very quickly. In World War II, this is done by Abraham Wald principle. In World War II, when the bombers return to the base, engineers study the returned bombers and see where the bullets hit those bombers, those aeroplanes, like these areas where peg tips, tails, etc., where they're all hit. They they think that these are the areas they need to put additional reinforcing so that these planes don't get hit. But what happened here is actually many planes have not returned. They were hit at cockpit, engines, and all that, and they crashed and they have not even returned. But whereas the people who have studied, who the engineers who have studied, they have studied only the planes which have returned from the uh, battlefield. Now, Abraham he studied that this is not the way to do. What they have to do is reinforce the engine area and the cockpits and other areas, because these are not the planes which have returned, and that is the areas where they have to reinforce. So the problem here, or bias here, is basically you study the survivor surviving things. Only published, surviving, or accessible cases is supposed to analyze. We will miss a very important points like this, uh, surviving bias in uh, bomber design. Now, analyzing only surviving highly successful companies like Apple, Amazon to determine success factors ignores the thousands of companies that went bankrupt using similar strategies, leading to false conclusions about why they failed. Uh, so these are, I think, this point is clear that we should not study only the surviving cases. We have to study what is the missing things here, what is invisible. What are the cases of invisible failures? That is very important to study to come to an appropriate conclusion in research. This halo effect is another very interesting bias. This is a case where this is a basic human tendency to make specific inferences based on general impression. For example, if in an interview, this picture shows interviewing a candidate, a very articulate candidate, talks well, talks jargon, and impresses the interview board, and they feel that he or she is the right candidate to select. There is a general impression that is a she is a good person, and they come to the conclusion she is the right fit for the job for which they are doing the interview. It may not be the case. Job relevant capabilities she may not be having, but based on the general impression, if you conclude, you get into wrong decision. This happens quite often, and why this happens is when we face with complex judgment, system one substitutes an easier one. In research, is this particular is this participant credible replaces is this claim supported by evidence. Instead of going by the evidence, uh, when we are doing an interview, the participant's credibility is taken rather than the evidence provided. For example, a confident senior executive's views are treated as more valid than a junior employee's fragmented account. The studies on Sachem, S Bank, they only focused on the performance and not on the science of misgovernance. Many surveys of best companies, best colleges, etc., also suffer from this halo effect. Overconfidence bias. I look at the time. Yeah. Professor Jain.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
Dr. Sharma.
I have some more slides. I can continue for another 10 minutes. Yeah, 5-10 minutes.
Maybe just another 5 minutes so we can
Uh,
give
yeah,
time
okay,
for
fine,
any
fine, fine,
comment
fine. Okay.
question.
Right, right. Okay.
Okay,
Now, this
thank you.
overconfidence bias, what happens is humans are quite prone to illusory confidence. Means they become very confident, though they don't have the right information, right data with them. We are prone to overestimate how much we understand about the world. In research, what happens is researchers become overly certain that their research question is important, their hypothesis is correct, believe that the chosen method is sufficient to capture the reality. Sometimes 6 interviews are treated as a thematic saturation, assuming that no new insights would emerge. Believe that data collected is accurate and unbiased, participants are responding truthfully. These are all they go by the confidence. Themes identified quickly, researcher stops exploring contradictory narratives. Over trust in statistical outputs are coding themes, ignoring uncertainty, assumptions and alternative models. Clean, confident narrative in reporting, downplaying uncertainty and limitations. Researchers overstate predictive power and generalizability. This is called illusion of validity by Kahneman. Believing the story because it makes sense. Now, I talked about two books in the beginning. I'll briefly tell these are case studies of the research studies which have gone wrong, mainly because of the cognitive biases. Research was based on finding attributions based on performance, not the causes of performance. Sample made up of entirely outstanding companies. This survivorship bias we talked about the Bombers case. Data came from sources commonly biased by the halo effect. Like the story of the monkeys we talked in the beginning. There are a lot of articles. This book was written based on the lot of articles written by journalists and lot of interviews and so many other things. The data itself is affected by halo effect, and it is not a dependable data. That's one of the reasons why this research gave wrong results. And the result is a nice story, but hardly a valid description of why some companies are high performance, what others could do to achieve similar success. Similarly, build to last also, it is again because of halo effect and the lack of data independency flawed the research. Overconfidence bias and halo effect, all these things affected these researches. Some of the then how do we uh, What do we do to mitigate these cognitive biases in research? The most important thing is to first awareness that these cognitive biases affect our research work. Then use structured checklists for avoiding cognitive biases for design, data collection, analysis, and reporting stages. And I made a checklist. I'll show it and people can use it subsequently. Define hypothesis, variables, and analysis plans in advance. Reduce confirmation biases. Avoid harking. This is hypothesis after results are known. So we should avoid always. Avoid leading and outcome oriented questions. Choose methods based on research question, not convenience. Use random or stratified sampling wherever possible. Triangulation is quite often talked about this in various research teachings. Member checking, transparent coding and generation of themes, documenting the whole thing. Replication and cross-validation. Consider rival explanations, reduce confirmation bias, limit causal claims. Another important thing is mixed methods research. Use qualitative insights to explain quantitative results and use quantitative data to test qualitative narratives. I made checklists. I'll just take one as an example if the since the time is getting over. See, at various stages, whether problem formulation, literature review, research method, sampling data collection, interviews, coding, report stage, at all stages, we can prepare checklists to see and then verify with that checklist at every stage to make sure that we are not getting into a bias mode. For example, are the research questions neutrally worded, not implying any causality or success? Has the initial intuitive hypothesis been documented and challenged? Are contradictory findings deliberately included? Have null or mixed result studies been reviewed? Is recency bias controlled? Why this method? Why not others? What dimensions of the phenomena will this method miss? So like this, for example, in sampling, we systematically excluded from sample what failures or dropouts are missing, or inclusion exclusion criteria theoretically justified. So like this checklist can be made, and with that if we do the research, it becomes much more unbiased and more varied. The final thought is great research is not about being unbiased. It is about building systems that protect us from our own minds. Thank you. I have some examples and experiments which I have slides, but I'm not covering that in view of the shortage of time. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sarma, for that very detailed sharing and also introducing books for all of us who have tuned in, and also for those who will be tuning in via YouTube later. So, with that, I'm happy to invite anyone who would like to share their thoughts or even ask Dr. Sarma any questions, any comments. So, the floor is open right now. Yes, Supriyo, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to Dr. Sharma for, offering such an interesting topic, because this is something that always works in a research domain, whether the researcher getting biased and the extent of the bias as well. And he has given some excellent examples as well. So a wonderful topic, wonderful presentation. So congratulations. I just wanted to share one point. I mean,
Thank you.
basically,
Sure.
if we go back to our very, school level physics, when we studied Newton's laws, the Newton's first law says that if you're a part of a system, you cannot change the system, you cannot move the system. If you're sitting in a chair, you cannot move the chair. So I think very excellently brought out by Dr. Sharma that a researcher needs to, no one can be completely devoid of bias, but the researcher has to step back from the system itself, become, dissociated from the system, and then look at the system. I think that's one way of reducing cognitive biases as much as possible. Because at times the researcher is actually tasked or actually studying the bias itself. In ethnographic research, for example, the researcher may be looking at the bias of a group of people. But at the same time, the bias should not be kind of a prejudgment. So, I mean, that's how I look at it. Once again, congratulations, Dr. Sharma, and thank you so much, Jayanti Madam, for bringing this up as a host.
Thank you. Thank you, Supriyo.
Thank you so much, Supriyo, for your kind words. So I'd like to open the floor to anyone else who want to mention anything or share something or ask Dr. Sarma any questions.
In fact, before someone goes, I just wanted to ask Dr. Sharma also that the checklist he has shown. I'm still in the research phase, so I would probably love to use that checklist. Yes, this is the one.
I
Is this
will share.
have you compiled this from multiple sources, or is there a
Yes,
single source
it
which I
is
can refer?
multiple sources I have compiled.
Okay.
And so and then this can be further reviewed, and you can
Fine-tuned,
add based on
yes.
your own experience. This is available. This I will share with you.
Yeah, if you can share one or two references from where I can quickly pick up, and as you rightly said, there could be more. Definitely, this is not a not a final list. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much. So I have Dr. Vijay. Dr. Vijay, go ahead with any of your comments or any questions for Dr. Sarma. Dr. Vijay? Okay. Dr. Vijay, can you hear us? I think
Maybe he is not able to hear.
yeah, I think he is trying to connect, or rather his audio is not seems to pick up from our side. Dr. Vijay, yeah, can you speak up? We cannot hear you, Dr. Vijay. Okay, so Dr. Vijay, perhaps if you can type in the chat, I will be happy to read out while we can open the floor to anyone else who would like to comment or share. So sorry, we really cannot hear anything, Dr. Vijay. Maybe the audio, some technical from the audio. So if you think you could just type on the chat, I will be happy to read that chat.
He is not able to unmute, I think.
Yeah, I think he's
Not able
having
to unmute.
yeah,
Problem.
okay, he's unmute, but Dr. Vijay, we cannot hear you, Dr. Vijay. I really hope that we could really hear you, or I don't want to lose this valuable opportunity. Perhaps maybe you can try and type in the chat. Yeah, so uh, yeah, can you do that? Okay, Dr. Vijay. Dr. Vijay has mentioned wonderful presentation. And anything else, Dr. Vijay?
Maybe we can interact with him later.
Okay, so I will be brief here since I cannot type a lot.
He's trying.
Okay,
Fine. Yeah.
Dr. Vijay, do you think you want to call me on my phone and maybe I can try to switch on my audio on the phone? Then maybe you could ask that question or want to give any comment. Would that work? Okay, yes, he's calling. Yes, Dr. Vijay? Yes, we can hear you. I mean, I can hear you. Okay, so let me just share that to Dr. Sarma, because the audio is not so loud, even though I put maximum volume. What Dr. Vijay was saying is that Dr. Vijay is very appreciative for this talk, and that
Mm.
that Dr. Sarma's title is very excellent. Anything else, Dr. Vijay? Because there is some background noise because I'm also switching on to the audio. Mm.
Is there anything, is there any different way that I should think like that? I'm just giving an example, but it just occurred to me that I think we can borrow some of the concepts of Dibono and then apply here. Wonderfully presented, Dr. Selma. I really appreciate, and I would like to look forward to more and more sessions from you. Thank you, Dr. J. Thanks to PNU.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much,
Thank-
Dr. Vijay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I try my best to put the audio as near as possible to my laptop speaker, so we can capture what Dr. Vijay and appreciate Dr. Vijay's feedback. So with that, let me just also ask anyone else who would like to ask any question to Dr. Sarma, any comments. So, yeah, I'd like to open the floor for this session. Okay, no
Yeah,
worries.
okay.
So,
Can conclude.
if there is no one who would like to ask any questions, no problem. So, what I would like to say once again, thank you, Dr. Sarma, for
Thank
this
you.
intellectual work or sharing that you have given to us. This certainly gives us a new lens through which how all of us will look at our research, whether we are doing studying, we are doing a research, or even in our workplace where we as a leadership a role, we are looking into this kind of aspect. So with that, I would like to also share with all our audience who is also other audience who are watching this session via YouTube. Don't let your mind forget what you have learned from Dr. Sarma. You can head over to LinkedIn to share your favorite bias with Dr. Sarma. He is available on LinkedIn. Just type Sarma and you will get his LinkedIn. You can share any comments, and then you can tag GlobalNxt University, and therefore we can continue this loop. We can share more thoughts with this and continue this wonderful topic that Dr. Sarma has shared with us. So with that, Dr. Sarma, thank you so much once again
Thank
for
you.
this wonderful session. I really enjoyed. I myself, as someone who is teaching the research topic, I've learned so much from you. So thank you so much, Dr. Sarma. So with that, I'd like to make some announcement whereby please stay tuned to our world tour, because it's not over yet. Because right now we are in India, but before we sign off, I would like to just quickly share some sneak peek at our May alumni talk that is next month. So we are going to move to another destination, another country. We are moving away from India, okay? But I'm going to keep the location a secret for now. I cannot tell you where we are visiting, but we are going to go to a powerhouse of industry. Our May guest is a top tier executive who sits at the helm of brand strategy and corporate growth, a leader who has reached the absolute pinnacle of both academic and professional success. So, this person is a master of influence, a strategist of the highest order, who will be sharing insights that you simply cannot find in a textbook. So, where is this world are we heading? Which part of the world are we heading? And who is this marketing mastermind? So, to find out, please watch our official LinkedIn or Facebook or even Instagram pages. We will be dropping some information in a couple of weeks. And please follow, like, and share so you are the first to get notification and you can save your date. So with that, good night, everyone, and thank you for joining this alumni talk from GlobalNxt University. And see you again on the next digital horizon. And good night, everyone, and good day to the rest of you who is tuning in from other part of the global. Thank you once again, Dr. Sarma.
Thank you, Dr. Jain. Thank you for hosting this, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to make this presentation. And thanks, GlobalNxt University also. Thank you very much.
Thank
Dr.
you very
Sharma.
much. Finally we
Thank
can
you.
listen to you.
Thanks
We
a
can
lot,
hear
sir.
your voice.
I don't know what has happened. I just connected to external speaker.
Yes, Dr. Vijay. So, may I encourage everyone to head over to LinkedIn to continue this wonderful session on the bias. So, with that, let me sign off and
Thank you.
catch up with all of you again next month.
Good
Thank
night
you.
and good day.
Good night.